I've come up with an idea.
Here's what the water damage looks like.
And it's probably another bad idea.
I guess I'll give up.
Well, there you go. From trailer trash to treasure and back to trash. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we've been working on a renovation on this 1956 Calcraft, and we've gotten to the point where we're starting to work on the interior. Last week I did the front passenger side dinette seat, and this week I think I'm going to do the driver's side dinette seat, because it's essentially just a mirror image of the other one minus the drawer that I installed. So it should be really simple. So if you've been watching our videos, you might remember that at one point the wind destroyed my canopy. Well, I put it back and the wind destroyed it again, and I put it back and then the wind sort of destroyed it again. You know, the main purpose of the canopy is to keep rain off of the camper, and unfortunately in Kansas, when we get rain, we also get wind. And this past week we had a little bit of snow, and blown snow also gets in the camper. Not enough moisture to really destroy it or ruin it, but I have had a few spots where there's a little bit of discoloration where the wood got wet. And that's what wood does. It discolors when it gets wet. It doesn't necessarily rot, it doesn't necessarily damage it, but it will discolor it. I've come up with an idea, and it's probably another bad idea, but maybe it's one that I'm going to do anyway. And that idea is that I do still have the original skins. If I just maybe clamp them on there, or I might wind up having to put a few staples in them, but it may give just enough additional protection from the elements that I won't have to worry about rain and snow getting on there. I think it'll be interesting to see how closely those skins match what I've built, because they might not. That's what I'm going to try to do first, and then I'm going to get started on that cabinet. There you go. From trailer trash to treasure and back to trash. That matches up pretty well. There's somewhere along the way it looks like I've lost maybe an inch overall lengthwise, which is not too bad considering that the whole front end was busted and kind of partly hanging off, so I'm okay with that. And this is going to sound like I'm just bragging on myself, but all in all, I feel like it's a pretty good effort to match the original design. So one other thing I'll say is, for those of you that are, let's say, timid about removing the skins from your campers to work on the walls, say you've got some water damage or you've got some wiring issues and you need to sort out. I mean, you just saw me put these skins back on this camper by myself in, I don't know, what did that take, a half hour to put them all back in place? And granted, if I was really permanently putting them there, they would be all stapled, and certainly I would have taken a lot more time lining them up and doing a good job of it. But it's not hard to replace these skins. It's not hard to take them off. You know, for most of you that have friends, unlike me, you know, you get an extra set of hands. I mean, Simon will grow up at some point, and then he can just be my friend. Is this getting sad? Anyway, I don't have enough clamps to do the other side right now, so I'm going to have to go to Home Depot and buy some more of these little spring egg clamps. So for now, I'm going to go get started on that other cabinet. Okay, so I mitered the two edges so they would come together nice and cleanly, but there's kind of a bow in my piece of wood, so I run it through the miter and it wants to walk around. So now there's a gap in the middle that I think is too big to fill. So I'm going to use that bit that I just put on as a stop, and I'm going to tack down the other side, and then I'm going to pull the other side back off because I think it's too much, and gut feeling says it's too much. You should just fix it while you can. Pop some filler in here tonight. Okay, so I asked Catherine's opinion about it. She thinks it's okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of the leftover paneling that I have from the walls, and I'm going to see if I can cut a better miter on it. If I can, I guess I'll tear it all apart and redo it. And if I can't, I guess I'll give up. So this is the side that's going to face the kitchenette, and the kitchenette's going to overlap it to about here or so. So you're not going to see any of this stuff back here. And I was just going to put a solid piece over here and then router out this hole just to save a little bit of weight, but that seemed wasteful of a piece of plywood. So I'm just going to use some scrap that I have, cut it, and attach it to these little rails. And the reason I'm doing that is because it still needs to be spaced out from the kitchen cabinet a little bit, so this will fill in that space without, you know, adding weight or additional waste. Okay, so I've got my template that I made for the first bench, and I've just flipped it around the other way, laid it down here, and we're just going to run the router alongside of it. I've already taken it out there to the camper and made sure that the curve is the same on both sides. The only thing I noticed is the edges of my template aren't exactly right, so I've had to kind of clock it just a little bit to make it match the curve a little bit. So hopefully I'm doing this right. Alright, well, that's the front two dinette benches done. I know that was kind of a repeat of last week, but you've got two sides of the camper, you got two benches. What am I going to do? Not show you building stuff? So, moving along. I think I'm going to end it there this week. I think Jake's got the wheel wells all finished up and ready to be put in their final form, so hopefully I can pick those up pretty soon and get those tacked in, because when the cabinets move to this middle area, those wheel wells have to be in place. Thanks for following along, and make sure and like and subscribe and hit that little notification bell so you know when the next video is posted, and we'll see you in the next one.